a kid is small, doesn't have any idea about rejection or I like you and I don't like you. It's just present. It gives all the love it has with the smiles, with the kindness, with the gestures. Only us that we have been socialized and are adults forget what love is about. Love is so simple and it's already within yourselves.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Judith Blackert.
And I'm Leonka Reyna.
And this is the Out Hustle Mystic Morning Show. Today we're talking with Judith Costa, and we are talking about really coming out of some of your shadows and really into true self-love. The morning brew with Woo. And I also have a little morning brew with a kangaroo.
Oh, that's right. It's Thursday.
And it's 9/11, so we need to lighten some things up here.
Yeah.
Hey, talking about 9/11, that year, my father had a dear friend that used to work at the Pentagon, and he would go over there and visit, and they'd actually have lunch at the Pentagon.
That's right, because you grew up in that area.
Right.
Oh, goodness. You're a Washington, D.C. kind of girl.
He was supposed to meet this guy at the Pentagon and have lunch on 9/11
You're kidding.
that day.
Wow.
And that guy had to cancel. That was an ongoing, like, God stories.
Rory and I always talk about how when those times happen, I always bring up the 9/11. There's so many people that were late to work that day, spilled their coffee on their shirt, they had to go late. And how many times do we get mad about those things?
Right.
And what if those are your guides, your angels, truly protecting you from maybe having an accident that morning or me coming over here and just being a little bit late and like maybe the intersection wasn't clear, or for your dad, he had to cancel that day, right? Like those are things that sometimes I even nowadays, I'm like, if I get an extra red light, I'm like, thank you. I know you're watching out for me. You know, I'll leave my house earlier. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, a little bit of to lighten this up, last night after Mystique, I'm like sitting at the kitchen table eating a little snack, and my daughter is there, and we're both scrolling through because she just took like this cute video of the cat, and I posted it on Instagram on my personal account.
Okay.
So I'm scrolling through other animal videos, and all of a sudden, there's this woman at the airport with her emotionally support kangaroo, and the little guy is holding a boarding pass, and she was denied, and the kangaroo couldn't go on the trip with her. She literally bought the kangaroo a seat. And what was so cute, the little dude was like, he's holding his boarding pass going, "Oh no, Mom, I'm sorry. I'm not a dog." I was like, this little dude would be so much better than a dog, and he has his own seat. I just really felt bad for the woman, but especially the kangaroo.
It kind of lends itself well to like, where do we get rejected for things?
Or taken advantage of? Absolutely. That's a little bit of my morning brew with the kangaroo.
I have a little bit of Mystic Space weather news. Just recently, there was a Congress held briefing for the UFO. It was a continuation of the hearing that had happened in 2023. And when the files were unredacted, there was a whole release, a whole disclosure of all these different files. And it was talking a lot about what the CIA had done, the different programs. And of course, there's a lot of whistleblowers that are still getting a lot of retaliation on them. And so they were talking about the importance of protecting whistleblowers, no matter if it's about UFOs or not. So I caught some of the highlights. Then for today's Mystic Space Weather News, according to spaceweather.com, it says another ambiguous result from Mars. At a press conference briefing yesterday, NASA announced that a maybe not decision of ancient life on Mars. The space agency's Perseverance rover found a rock in ancient lake bed with unusual markings nicknamed the leopard spots and poppy seeds. The minerals in the preservatives found inside those strange markings can be produced by microbes. However, the same mineral textures could arise through non-biological geochemical reactions. Is it or is it not, right? That's kind of the question. but NASA would like to bring a sample home for closer look. Do you think that maybe we'll get an idea? But I don't know if we'll really ever get NASA to kind of truly unveil everything, but here's to hoping, right? And that's what I got from Mystic Space Weather News.
All right, let's talk self-love. This is such a deep topic, and Judith is really the expert of it. So let's bring her up and let's kind of just go deep in this topic, because I think that this doesn't give enough attention. People are still in that place and that space of it needing to be around self-care. I would like to start with the question, because a lot of the work that I do and what I find from clients is it goes to the root of wrongness, unworthiness, and I'm just not plain good enough.
Everyone that is here watching and who will watch in the future, your question is really great, because I'm going to start with a personal story. The reason why I teach this is because I didn't know how to love myself. I didn't know that there was such a thing like loving oneself. And my life from outside looked like great. Like everybody was saying, why you complain? You have a great husband, the house, the job, the financial security, everything is working. And why is possible that if everything is working, I feel so bad? And I was dealing with what now is called mental health issues, but let's call it depression or deep sadness. And then it moved to physical issues. But what I didn't know is that the reason why I was going through all of this is because I didn't have any idea how to love myself. Fall in love with yourself. I was living in Spain. I didn't even have access to many of the resources that in this great country like the US we had. I had to figure out on my own. And I started a quest for self-discovery. And thanks God, when, again, the student is ready, the teacher appears. And there were people along the way that helped me. But I will say that we all have this inner critic in our minds. I'm very analytical. I will say maybe I was very analytical. Now it's kind of reduced. But when you have this great power of the mind where you can use it for whatever you want, but usually you use it to criticize yourself, to analyze yourself, to judge yourself, to put yourself down, then that's the opposite of self-love.
Yeah.
Then a long time ago, self-love.
So here was my point when I started with not good enough. That's exactly why you would put yourself down or do the slams. Like, I made a joke the other day that I got bangs so I could get less Botox. And I was just like, which is a little bit of self-deprecating joke.
I do those all the time. It's part of my humor. So I'm like, how am I going to be funny now?
Yeah, but you know what?
Right? Because that is my funny. Well, so I'm going to let you say something, but I want to say something first. Yes. I believe that we are so trained to do things like that and not be our greatness. And it all comes down to we were never taught self-love.
Yes, that's what she was saying. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's get taught self-love today.
The unconscious doesn't have sense of humor and doesn't understand negative.
I know.
Yes.
Then everything you tell, your body records it.
I know. But we didn't learn that.
My recommendation
I
to
100% agree.
People, when we start working, doesn't matter if it's in a workshop, in a group, or in private sessions, is for a week. Take your phone and write everything you think about yourself. Every thought that comes to your mind, because there are a lot of people that say, oh, I have a great relationship with myself. I don't have any problem in that area. So just do that. Maybe not for a week, maybe do 3 days. Oh my God. They come like, oh, wow, I'm so bad with myself. I'm so mean. If you tell others what you tell to yourself, they will run away from you. Never come back.
Yes.
Never, ever. We are so hard on ourselves because, as you say, we are not taught on how to do this. And the problem is that when we figure it out, sometimes we have accumulated lots of baggage. We have like a backpack attached to us where we put all the pain, disappointment, all the feelings unresolved, everything, it's there. But you know what? There is a moment where this backpack is so heavy that you do like this.
Yes. Yeah.
You cannot sustain this weight anymore, and you have to stop in whatever road you are and start taking things out of the backpack. Like, oh, this is not even mine. This is what my parents thought. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, I mean, come on, this happened a long time ago. I can release this. Oh, I can forgive this. We have to review everything that we have put in the backpack, because if not, we will go on autopilot and live our lives with the unconscious patterns and beliefs that there have been set up in our programming. Your program, since you are in the womb of your parents, when you are born, by your society, by your culture, by the experiences that happen, even by TV, the songs you listen, etc. And if we go deeper, by your past lives, your ancestral influences, and the genetic lineage you come from. But if you just rely on the other side, it's okay. We all have baggage, and we all have to kind of review the information that we have put. This is like having a computer and never do any upgrade. How is it going to work, the computer?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's such a
Okay.
good visual.
Be slow, sluggish, annoying.
Leonka and I have a certain way of processing people when it comes to belief systems. We open the door with like questions that people have never even heard asked. Like, how many algorithms do you have that's locking in your wrongness, right? Do you have a process like that to help people really clear these, or do you really have them hunt them down and then request that they change them? Like, what is your change for belief processing?
No, I don't have a process, because I don't believe in coffee for everyone. And I believe
Right.
like showing up and seeing what it's there. I will be guided, because we have done this many times, that I work with Akashic records.
Yes.
Yes.
But even if it's a coaching session, I won't tell the client that I have the Akashic records of the coaching session open, but I will do it for me. Even if this is a group and we are in a workshop and there are 10 people, that is more or less the limit of my workshops, I will be present, because usually the universe arrange the people in the same kind of topics. Like everything goes around self-forgiveness, lack of pleasure, and this, that. Then we have 2-3 topics max, and we can customize the experience. I have a PowerPoint, but I never follow the PowerPoint. I go where the energy goes, because this is what is required. But
Yeah.
I'm sure that I will cover the PowerPoint and all the teachings. I can talk about self-love for an hour, like 3 days, 5 days, or a week. Doesn't matter, because it's the same concept. But I will wait until the person comes and say, okay, my problem is self-judgment. My problems is self-honesty. My problems is I cannot forgive myself. My problem is like I feel stuck. Then when we have identified the core issue, then with the awareness that we have, we can find out together what is the best way to proceed.
Mhm.
It makes sense.
I call it acknowledgement. Really, when you acknowledge, wow, this is really true for me. And it takes a level of vulnerability for people to come to that space of actually even being able to say, wow, I actually do have a trust issue or a control issue. And it shows up in these places, right? And sometimes people will stop like on the surface and they won't dive deeper. So I'd like for us to kind of help some of the people on this call really dive deeper and maybe be able to drop the facade and be a little bit more vulnerable around this issue.
I'm gonna say something, because there is a lot of suffering that is provoking in relationships. And the relationship with yourself and the relationship that you establish in life are intimately connected. It's impossible to separate them. And for a lot of people that I had in this, I started my career helping people to find their soulmates. Very soon I realized that one of the most important reasons why people couldn't find true love is because they didn't love themselves. Then was when self-love became not a part of the workshop, like a workshop on itself, But the business gravitated on its own towards self-love without my consent. I mean, it was not my decision. Suddenly everybody was coming for self-love and say, okay, then this is what I need to do right now. And when we go through the ideas that we have about loving ourselves, what I have seen working with hundreds of people is like, it's very easy to love others because we have this in the program. The idea others first, love others, I'm a mother, I'm a daughter, whatever it is, the role we take, we are used to. But nobody implanted the seed that you go first. Because if you don't have love for yourself, you cannot share it with others.
Yeah.
But when we want to work on ourselves, I mean, it's great if you can hire a professional like me, but there is a lot of work that you can do on your own, just trying to figure it out, like become aware. Then think about what is the most important complaint that you have in your relationships. Because I have seen it again and again and again, that people say, oh, this person was unavailable emotionally. This person didn't pay attention to me. This person. And when I ask, how was the relationship with yourself at that moment in time when you established this partnership or this relationship, or, oh, I didn't even have a relationship with myself. No, I didn't love myself at all.
It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant, because if everyone is somewhat a mirror and you're in a deep, intimate relationship, that is the mirror. That is bringing up all your triggers, everything.
Complain about what others do or don't do, but it's more about looking at yourself and not looking at yourself and judge yourself. It's looking at yourself with love, with the idea that you didn't do anything wrong. You did the best you could, and the same your partners. But sometimes we have to go even deeper, and we have to start looking at what happened in your childhood. What is your view in relationships? Because if you come from a dysfunctional family, and there are many ways of a dysfunctional family, mine was, and nobody was alcoholic or nobody abused, then it's important to understand that we all carry this pain, and the understanding of love has like a paint on all the experiences that we have. Then when we stop and we devote one day or 1 week or 1 year, whatever it is, to just think about, okay, I am having partners that abandon me. My father abandoned me. Then now I feel alone. There must be a connection in all of these things that happened to me. Then when you are able to do that, like this shift in mindset, you have a lot gain. It's a different status. Because then you can connect the dots and see, okay, in the middle of all of this that was happening, I was the center of the experience. And when you identify a pattern, it's the moment when you can release, you can let go, you can change it. If you don't know what's going on with you, you will continue attracting partners the same way, because the universe is going to say, oh, this is unresolved. Don't worry, Judith. I'm going to bring you another opportunity to learn, because this is what I'm asking for. Totally unconscious. I mean, consciously I say, I want the right partner for me that never abandoned me, and I want to marry forever. But what I'm unconsciously saying is, I want to resolve this. At a soul level, I'm saying, I want to end this pattern. Then what happens? That I feel I am totally cured, and I go into a new relationship. And everything is great and fantastic and wonderful, and until something triggers me again.
Right?
Yes, universe, do you think it's resolved? Let me see if it's true. And then this person starts acting weird. Maybe he goes on a trip, or maybe he goes on a trip with a secretary, and it's unavailable and cannot answer the phone. And my mind goes crazy. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
again, the same pattern. He's going to abandon me. I mean, we are
Yeah.
joking. This is very serious, but
Yes.
I mean, let's take it light.
Yeah.
No, I love it.
And what happens with me? I start acting differently than the way I was at the beginning of the relationship, because the pattern of getting abandoned, the fear of abandonment, whatever it is, it's there. And then at the end, when the relationship ends and I feel abandoned for the next time, it's like the fulfilled prophecy. It's not because that was the destiny. It's because in my fear of abandonment, I start being possessive, controlling, afraid, change my mood. And this person that fall in love with me doesn't recognize myself anymore.
Yes.
You say, what happened to you? You're like a spy, like trying to catch me in some sort of bad behavior or something like that.
Yeah.
Then all of this that cause pain during many years can be stopped at any moment. We just have to identify these patterns, and for everyone, they are different. That's the reason why I don't have a process, because I work in this big self-love concept.
Sure.
I was going to call this like the Taylor Swift, right? The Taylor Swift acknowledgement, where she was writing all the songs about the guy, then realized that she was the main common denominator. And then she wrote the song like, hi, hello, the problem, I'm the problem, it's me, right?
Yeah.
Like, so then after you start to see her relationships now improve and she's engaged, right? So like, that's like on full display in public, kind of the same concept. And I laugh about it because she called herself out, right? How many times do we not have that place where we're looking? And I'm pretty sure the public let her know, like, hey, girl, you might be the problem.
And because she was called out and she called herself out, she has changed. And I bet they are going to have a great relationship, her and Kelsey, because of that change, right? Like, it is about getting vulnerable enough and going, hey, maybe what everyone is projecting at me, maybe that actually is me. And maybe I need to look at this. And then I could choose to change it if I really decide I would want something different.
Right.
There are two things, two little problems. One, from inside the bottle, you don't see the label.
Correct.
Then sometimes you need someone outside. And second, people try to do this, but in the hard way. Like blaming themselves, being hard on themselves.
Being wrong again because they're used to being wrong. I'm so bad. I'm so wrong.
I lost my life, what mistakes I made. Then the only reason to address your life is because you love yourself. Then you have to choose yourself no matter what. You have to forgive yourself and continue. Every breath you take is an opportunity to start again. You're not going to change the past. We agree on that. But you are going to change your present and for sure your future. And we all carry things. I mean, in this dimension, we understand past, present, and future. But it's just an illusion. It doesn't exist.
Yes.
Because the past lives are very present. Like, I have seen people stuck because they made a promise to someone in another lifetime. When you say, I will love you forever, you carry this promise lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. And if this person doesn't show up, I cannot love anyone else because I promise you eternal love.
How do you get out of that?
You renegotiate the agreement. You understand what you are doing. Let's put an example that it's easy to understand. That my mother, I'm 14. Okay, my mother is dying from cancer. And I'm next to her at this moment. And she says, take care of your father because I'm not going to be here. Okay, and what you say? Of course, ma'am, yes.
Absolutely.
Then this woman established relationships. She doesn't have any problem to date. Everything is good until the moment that it becomes too serious, or the moment of engagement or the moment of marriage. Then she sabotaged the relationship because she thought the understanding that she had is like, if she gets married, she's going to abandon the father. And she made a promise to the mom to be there. Then when you understand the whole picture of your life, you say, oh, wow, but there is no contradiction. I can get married and help my father, and I'm not going to break the promise with my mom. But if you don't kind of rethink about this, you, with the mind of a 14-year-old that says that taking care of my father is the most important thing in my life, you will never give access to another person. That for sure, if you marry someone and you have a family and all of this, your father and you are not going to have the same relationship. You're not going to have the same time together. Then these little things that I can share, like hundreds of examples, it doesn't matter. But these little things make you understand that sometimes what is holding you back is not even something that happened yesterday or when you were 4-year-old. People have problems with love because they have a lot of spiritual lives in monasteries as monks or as nuns, or then the celibacy.
Oh,
I
gotcha.
promise my life to Jesus, then when I have to live in 2025 and have a normal relationship and marry, I say, I'm not sure this is what I like.
It's like
Because I have
celibacy.
all the programming about no.
Mhm. Well, one of the things that this brings up for me is like every single decision and conclusion that you make, including expectations, they are all places that can stop you from experiencing the land of infinite possibilities. So if you commit to taking care of your father, you have committed to taking care of him for forever, then you can never truly be free. You can never truly play in the field of infinite possibilities because you have this chosen commitment.
I'm
Almost.
gonna
Yeah.
be vulnerable here and explain it with an example.
Thank you.
My first husband, who I married when I was in Barcelona, for those of you that understand astrology, he was Leo, ascendant Scorpio. We were together for 17 years. I met him when I was 18. And he was this strong character, very, very self-centered, like Leos are. I'm not saying it in the bad
We
way.
like Leos.
And you know what? He thought that my problem in life was my mother, and my mother thought that my problem in life was my husband.
Yeah.
And my problem in life is that I didn't know how to love myself
Yeah.
until then. Okay, I'm gonna set the boundaries. I'm gonna live my own life and stop trying to control me.
Yeah.
Well, it took me a lot of effort to get divorced because I didn't get divorced because I didn't love him. I got divorced because I couldn't continue in the same way. Some years after, there was a big change in my life, and it was clear that I had to move to New York. Living in Spain, it doesn't make a lot of sense because we had a great life in Spain. I had my business, I had everything figured out. Then now I have to go to New York. But the universe knows that the only reason why I really will move was because of love. And I moved to New York and I found my soulmate. That was my intention. Another person, Leo, ascendant Scorpio. It seems I didn't have enough with the first experience of 17 years. 10 more years
Oh,
of the same training.
Hi.
Then what it seems for others will say, oh, you fail, 2 divorces. No, it's the best experience of my life. Why? Because these guys show me what loving oneself means. They didn't have any problem to love themselves. Maybe they live like too much by this. Then I had the best teachers in front of me for so many years until I had to say, okay, now is the moment to save myself. I'm not going to put my happiness in your pocket. I'm not going to do whatever you say. I'm not going to live the same way. And I have a wonderful relationship with both of them. I love them still. I will marry them again. I mean, not now, but I know that they are connected with me in past lives. And why I'm sharing with you this, because self-love can be learned in so many different ways. We don't have to go through a traumatic experience. Sometimes we met with someone that really illuminates and see us as we are and see our light. It can be a boss, it can be a friend, it can be a colleague, it can be someone in your family. Usually your parents are not this kind of people for different reasons. But if you have the ability to relate and to share love with others, think what they bring into your life. And when they don't bring what you want, but they are in your life, think, why I'm having this experience? Instead of blaming others for what they are not doing, as we were saying before, think about what is the reason why my experience is in love. Doesn't matter if it's friendship, romantic, or in the family, why I'm having this experience. Some people, I agree, they don't know how to love you better. And maybe you don't get anything from that relationship. But maybe what you get out of that relationship is how to abandon relationships when they don't serve you anymore, how to set boundaries, how to say no what you don't want to experience. But other relationships where you feel this attachment, because it happens when there are soul contracts, when there are soulmates involved, when there are people that come from another moment in time, but meet you again in this incarnation, you have the pull to be there and do the homework. With someone else, you say, okay, bye.
Yeah.
You stay and you say, okay, one more try.
Yes.
Then these people are important to show you something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I almost
Yeah.
teared up. Wow. Yeah, they are. Sometimes I feel like we have the tendency to miss the whole lesson and make it all about ourselves rather than have something to gain or to understand from this. And many times you see people spiral because they're missing that lesson, or they're fed up getting that lesson over and over again. You hear your friends, they say, why do I keep attracting the same guy?
Yep.
I mean, like, I moved across the country, right? And it's the same man. And I remember saying that to myself, like, how do I keep attracting these same people? And I didn't know anything about any of this type of work or my soul's lesson. It definitely illuminated a lot for me, and it actually helped me to heal from past relationships as well once I started to understand this. I'd also like to give the audience a chance to ask questions around this too.
This topic.
Yeah, because it's one of our biggest, if not the, to me, one of the biggest lessons we come here to Earth to learn. Arguably.
Well, if I make a joke that if we were kind of landed here on the planet and we're just here to follow our desires, which are heart's desires, which is a love component, and be love, get love, receive love, and know unconditional love, then we're doing just the opposite here.
And the way I view it is that we're in relationship with everything. Our
Yeah.
dog, me and this
Yeah,
microphone,
our tree.
everything. Right. And so relationship, to see that as oneness, is one of the biggest lessons that we come here to do.
We don't
Yeah.
get oneness. We don't really even get the collective, being a collective,
How we talked
right?
about that on this, Misty.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And my title is Unconditional Love Coach because I don't deal with love or relationship problems. I teach people really how to connect with the love for themselves, because I think that this is first the most important thing that you can do for yourself, but second, what you can do for others. Because
Yeah.
when you get that, your whole life change.
Yes.
Well, if you're the
Also-
frequency of love, then all you have to attract is a person that has the frequency of love, which is like two whole people coming together. This is how they used to say it. I mean, I don't know that I'd ever want to use the word whole as a person. It's more like two people that are real with themselves that can be real with each other is probably a better way to say it.
Yeah, I see a relationship like two individuals that already love themselves, that want to get together to share the love that they already have. Not to, you give me love, I give you love. That's conditional.
Mhm.
Yes.
Then, okay, we got divorced, then you're not giving me love, then I don't love you. Love is a choice that you make every day. Doesn't matter if it's the love for yourself or the love for others. You can love someone in spite of who the other person is.
Yeah, you can look beyond their flaws.
Of course.
Yeah.
This is the PhD of love.
Yeah. I found that being married for 32 years, I've actually come to adore some of the things that my husband used to do that I didn't love. I almost hated. Yeah, and now I'm just like, no, that's him. I love it. And I think that those are the things that really make you come together. You really see each other and you stop judging each other.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggie. Like one time we had this throwdown fight because I did a horrible job at cleaning the countertops. He literally went by and pulled up the canister and said, "You need to wipe underneath this."
Yeah, I'd have been like gone.
And at the
I
time,
waited to 32 years, girl.
right, I was 24 years old, and I am like, I am not a house cleaner for one. And then I just like reamed him. And
Yeah.
I mean, and it was like a 3-day fight. And then finally he woke up and he's like, I'm so sorry. I'm wrong.
Oh,
Right.
that's cool.
And it was like, because if he didn't even come to admit his wrongness, I don't know that it would have worked, to be honest, because I wasn't there to be like the princess house cleaner or serve a husband or anything like that. But we were just so young, and he was just like so used to things being tidy and needy and perfect. And now he clutters things. He like picked it up from me. Kind of a good thing. I kind of love it now because I can be comfortable in my house instead of everything being perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I is looking at relationship as I don't love the word mirror, but I think it's the best word for it. And I think that that's fabulous. Really seeing the things you don't like in people, and you kind of judge it in people, and you go, I don't like that about that person. And then you can, if you could just turn it back on yourself and you're like, well, where inside of me or in what space did I maybe have resistance to that? I think that is just a profound way to move through life with this ease of personal growth.
Complicated because they have many layers. And since I work a lot in the area of past lives, and then from the Akashic Records perspective, like I receive a lot of questions, like for someone, no, I want to get divorced, or the relationship is not working, or just in a good way. I mean, we are fantastic together. Do we know each other from a past life? But what I can say is there's this thing called soul connections. We travel in time through incarnations with certain people. The same way we have a family in the flesh, we have a family in the soul connections.
Yes.
And these people will show up in our lives when we need it. When we come to Earth, there are certain things that are pre-programmed, certain events by destiny. It's like your soul has an agenda, but bullet points. What the soul doesn't know is how it's going to accomplish this goal. But we need people to interact, because if I have to learn how to love more, I need a relationship. Relationship in the big sense. It can be a friendship, it can be a partnership, it can be a boss. But I need to relate with someone to learn the things that I need to learn. But how I'm going to learn how to set up boundaries if I live in the top of a mountain very happily with my plants and my animals and everything is perfect in the relationship with myself? I'm going to be very happy, but I will never learn how to set up boundaries.
Right.
And maybe I need a mean boss to say, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
That's great. I want to raise my hand and bring up an actual situation for us to look at. Things are cool with my husband always, right? In fact, I even feel like he's like my fun. Like sometimes if he's not around, things are less fun for me. But I do have like slam bam with my son and my daughter just a little bit because, well, one, my son judges me to the nth and will judge every single thing about me because I'm like so wrong. And my daughter, on the other hand, doesn't judge at all. And I judge the heck out of her sometimes. She recently had a test that she had to take online, and they had all this criteria that she must take. It's for the state board for her to become a manicurist. And I kept going in her room and saying, have you studied? Are you ready for this? And she has said, yes, absolutely. And my friends say it's easy, this, that, and the other. And she took the test, she failed. And when we got the results back, it was really, really bad too. And I was like, gosh, here I've asked her, I've nagged her, and I was making myself so wrong in a way for not being able to help her really study for this test. We're now taking some study actions. And I then made myself wrong again because I felt like I made her feel really bad for failing this test. I mean, and to be honest, that wasn't my point. I actually feel like mistakes are the best things we can to learn to grow life. So when you have a nut, I guess the question would then be, if you have this knee-jerk reaction where you are so angry because you feel like you've done everything without getting too much in their business, how do you navigate things like that when they're kind of punchy like that, and punchy back, especially at myself, because I was like, it's not like I wanted to interfere in her life and force her to study with me, nor did I want to study with, she's an adult, she's 19 now. So did I navigate that right, other than me having an angry reaction, or is there some growth in that?
Well, there is some growth.
Well, clearly there's growth, or I wouldn't even be asking the question.
Yeah. Thank you for being vulnerable.
Yeah. And what I'm guided to ask you is, if you will be your daughter right now, how you would like your mom to treat you
Correct.
since the beginning of the situation until the end.
Right.
Because parents sometimes tend to forget that they are taking responsibility for something that is not theirs. Like your daughter, sorry to say, but has the right to fail
Correct.
and learn from it.
Yes. It's her life experience.
Yeah, and you are no one to take this life experience from her, to make it right or wrong.
Absolutely.
You can send a reminder like, do you need help? Is there anything I can do for you? Do you have all the resources? But then you have to allow your girl to fail if this is the plan. Then when she fails, if she comes back to you and say, Mom, I didn't have any idea what I did wrong because I thought I was prepared. Can you help me?
Right.
Then, and only then, you can act.
Okay. She will never ask for help. She rarely asks questions or anything like that. Mostly, when she does need help, she'll get mad and things will start getting yelled at in her room, and she'll start throwing things. And I'll finally come in and say, can I help you? That was when she applied to actually go to the school to learn this. Like, she was just like, things aren't working. And so maybe what would be your advice to get her to ask for help?
Nothing changed.
Okay.
You wanting her to ask for help is your desire.
Oh, I see.
You got the daughter that you need,
I feel
and
it.
she got the mother that she needs.
Okay.
You can improve the relationship, but it's not gonna be because you are an adult and you know better. She does what she does. It's not gonna be the resolution. The resolution is when you see your daughter as a soul with her own lessons and programs and things to do, and you as a mother trying to navigate, apply self-forgiveness and lots of understanding and kindness and patience and love yourself no matter what happens. But if the idea is, I want my daughter to succeed, you will suffer.
Because that's my point of view, that she has to succeed.
Well,
I mean, but she does want to succeed too.
sure.
So
allow her to figure it out on her own. It will be different if she's drowning in a lake and you say, oh, I'm going to allow you to figure it out. No, you jump and take her out of the water.
Right. Absolutely.
Unless there is life or death, you have to resolve your own issues. You have to look at yourself and say, okay, what have I done in this situation that I blame myself for something that she did?
Yeah.
I asked her to study. I asked her this and this and this. Yeah. Can I do it differently next time?
I love that. Thank you for that.
That is nice.
Yeah.
That is nice. Thank you.
Yeah, because it really is about me and my point of view, and I want this for her. And I haven't told her the other day, I said, look, if you don't start getting up and actually trying to learn this information, you're going to regret things because time is going to pass. And then I left, and then I felt a little wrong about that too. I'm like, you really, at certain ages, you can't tell people what to do anymore. It gets to the point that they've got to navigate
What happens when she's 21? She's still living at
home.
without,
And I'm still paying for everything, and she's just laying around. So you're saying I need to change the energy that I'm being around her to support her growth.
What you just both said is the projection of your own ideas. Your daughter can wake up tomorrow, feel so empowered, and change her life like this.
Right.
You don't know what is going to happen. You don't have any idea what is going to happen. But you are like afraid of, if everything continues like that, this is the situation, and I'm going to pay for the consequences. That's not unconditional love.
Right.
I love you if you're successful, if you get independent, if you have a career, if you... we call it parents' protection.
Absolutely.
Lots of love on it. But if you love your children, empower them. Not empower them to make mistakes, empower them. Say, I believe in you. I see your potential. I know you can do it. You fail. Okay, don't worry. I love you anyway. Try again.
Yeah, because I mean, like I started the call, it's like we've been trained to make ourselves wrong. And in saying certain things, it makes me look at who she is. And now, how much have I made her wrong? And now I feel wrong for making her wrong. And it's an entire loop. And I'm just the vulnerable story that will come forward and talk about this. We need to break this loop, this cycle.
Forgiveness is the most important tool in order to love yourself. And we talked about this in the summit recently. Then you wrong someone, you wrong yourself, you blame yourself. Stop right here, right now. Don't wait until tomorrow or the beginning of next week. Just do it right now. Let it go. Let it go, because it's the only way to set yourself free to change and to be different in the next situation. You are not here to be perfect. You are here to learn and change and improve. Karma is not a punishment. Oh, you're going to learn the lesson for the rest of your life. No, it's like you have to resolve something. Here is the bill. Do you want to pay it? They say, yeah, I'm going to pay it easily. That's it. Understood? You move forward.
Uh-huh.
How many opportunities are you going to have?
Yeah.
To have this conversation with your daughter again?
Do you want to take a time to ask it?
Well, I have a friend of mine that one of my cousins, they had like a trouble growing up in and out of prison, whatever, and then got a job later in life, but also had a kid. The kid's now 19, and he also is having a lot of problems and went to live with my cousin. My cousin barely can afford where they're living. So has a roommate, rents the room from the roommate, right? So they have split apartment. And now the kid has nowhere to live. So the 19-year-old has nowhere to live. But the 19-year-old won't go get a job, when my cousin comes home, he's playing video games, right? And he's like, dude, you can't even be in the living room, Billy. Like, I'm not even supposed to have you living here, or we both get kicked out. But he's just been staying there because he knows that if he doesn't stay there, there's nowhere else for the 19-year-old to go. But he just won't go get. And anytime he gets a job, like, he's burned his bridges, the 19-year-old, with everybody, like our grandma, everybody, right? And so like grandma will still help a little bit, but she knows that she can't have him live there. The mom can't have him live there because she's moved on and they fight, and he's physical. But my cousin is always like, look, I know I haven't always been the best dad and everything like that. I'm trying here, but I need you to go to work. I need you to contribute, because this is the only way that, we're going to survive. What do you say to somebody like that? Judith has one small aspect of it, but this is like now
really small in comparison.
Now it's like, I need you to go and do this. Otherwise, there's nowhere for you. Like they got in an argument just the other week, and the son left, and he's like, dude, he's going to be living underneath the bridge. Like, I got to go get him back. Then I got to hide him in my apartment. how do you be like, I'm gonna unconditional love you through a situation like that? Like
You just let him go live under the bridge, right?
yeah, and that's how do you, I don't know.
Do we have some time?
Yeah.
I think it will,
Yeah, we
it'll
can
be
go to about
beneficial
15,
for the
yeah.
group.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have 15 minutes.
Because you have said so many things, and we have to kind of divide into different topics. First, we don't have the first-hand information. We have your version of the
True.
information. I would like to talk with this 19-year-old person and see why is this person acting this way. As I mentioned before, we only see the reality of what is happening in the human life, and we judge that. But from the perspective of the soul, what it looks like, this is a disaster of a life in human terms, is really perfect. Then you don't know what this kid is doing for everyone around. You don't know if the soul contract that they have is, I'm going to be there, I'm going to be a pain, I'm not going to do anything about it, I'm going to misbehave, you would like to save me because it's what you always do, and I'm going to make it so difficult for you. And then you go figure how you resolve your issues, because this is my contract with you. There is a very interesting book called The Afterlife of Billy Fingers, where there is a guy that dies from overdose, and the sister starts communicating with him after he dies.
Yeah.
And explain everything that happens after that. But I mean, it was like a disaster of a lifetime. He overdosed, he ran out of the hospital. I think he was run out by the car. If I don't remember exactly. No, ran out of the hospital and he was killed or something like that. Then imagine the family. Oh, this guy, I mean, drug addict,
Yeah.
causing problems with the whole family, and he has to die like this. We are ashamed. Well, from the other side, Billy was explaining the whole thing to them, like,
Yeah.
this is what I had to do, and I had to do this for you, and I had to do this for...
Yeah.
Again, what we see sometimes is not what it appears. And I'm not saying that this is the case because I don't know the whole story. But telling someone that you have to behave rationally and you have to do the right thing and you have to go for a job, it may not work. It's not working right now.
No.
Then maybe try to love unconditionally the guy. And maybe the guy wakes up one day and say, oh, I feel so loved and so empowered. I want to change my life right now. I'm going to go to find a job that really resonates with me.
Yeah.
Because I'm a different person.
Yeah.
Maybe enroll him in some self-love classes that if he feels that he is worthy of being alive, he wants to take responsibility, that is the ability to respond to life circumstances. And then he decides to contribute not because the family asks, but because he chooses to. Because the only reason why we change is because we love ourselves enough to do that.
He ended up being homeless and then he woke up. Maybe people just wake up when they wake up despite their upbringing.
You have two big examples of guys that end up in the street and are multimillionaires and spiritual teachers. Joe Vitale, and who wrote Conversations with God.
That's not Joe Vitale, but
No, Joe Vitale wrote the 0 Point and is the one that teaches Ho'oponopono and all of this.
Correct.
He's a multi-million guy and loves to create music. And the guy that wrote Conversations of God, and now it escaped my mind, but he was also homeless. His neck, he couldn't afford health, then he couldn't really find a job. The insurance company didn't help. He was sick, he was bad. He ended up in the street.
So if my cousin was sitting here with you and asked, how do I allow my child to go to to be homeless when I have a place where they could rest their head? How would you approach it? Could you let Julia go be homeless?
She would have
I'm not saying that
I've already told her we always will have a home for you.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that allowing the person to be homeless is the right decision.
Right.
I didn't say that.
Yeah.
Let's suppose that there is a problem of drugs that happens so many frequently in many families.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You try to save your children from the drugs, and you give them money, and the money was used in drugs, and then they end up in a bad situation or in prison or in whatever, like if you're lucky, in a rehab center.
Right.
Then there is a moment where you have to choose what is the best way to proceed.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
may include to say, I'm sorry, but this is my limit.
Yeah.
But again, I don't like to have these conversations about these important topics in general because it brings kind of misunderstandings for people because every situation is unique.
That's
Even
true.
if you're talking about two parents with two children that have problems of drug abuse, it will be two different situations.
Yes.
Then in this case, because then it was, I mean, it was your daughter and it was something that happened and the energy is still here and it was pretty clear. But remember that in every situation, there are many things that are involved, not only in the 3D, what you see right now,
Yes.
in what is happening at the level of the soul, the
Yeah.
karmic relationship between the families, the lessons that need to be like learned and updated, then it's quite complicated to give general advice, even though it may
Yeah.
look the same situation.
It's almost would be smart for them to come to you and have a full, like a family session to kind of play out all the energies of it. And talking about sessions, let's go ahead and share your package.
Thank
Yeah,
you
I mean,
so
it is
much.
miles deep, but I do think in those cases, there's therapy and rehab, and those are some resources with it. All right, so we didn't talk about much Akashic records here, but we can give you plenty of other shows where Judith has done some profound Akashic readings. So this is the offer. Judith, do you want to talk a little bit about what happens in a consultation with you?
Yeah, let's start by defining what are the Akashic records because there might be people here that have never heard the term. Records are like the book of your soul, where everything about you is recorded. It's a field of energy where everything about you recorded means that this conversation that we are having, for example, is being recorded from my perspective with my thoughts, my feelings, my ideas, everything that I bring. And from the perspective of Nancy and Paula and Dana and Lianka, and you have your own record of this, then we can access these Akashic records. I do it for people that doesn't know how to do it because I also train people. I teach classes on that. Anyone can learn this. This is not a gift. This is a skill that you can learn. And there are people in the call that have done classes. And when you don't know how to do it yet, I can do it for you. Then I act as an intermediary between let's say, this field of information. And you can make a list of questions. In 1 hour, we will have time for around 10 to 15 questions, depending how deep are the questions.
Wow.
You can ask about anything related with you or any area of your life or related with others. You can ask about past lives, this current incarnation, and also the future development of your soul. Then all of these are benefits of a consultation that you have in the screen. And the idea is, even though the session is 1 hour, prepare a little bit more time when you decide to do it, when you schedule the session. Not because it's necessary, but it's nice to have some time to breathe after because it's a deep session. It's very safe. Nothing that you are not ready to receive is going to be told to you, and everything that you will receive is going to be given to you with lots of love. We will do the session through Zoom, and we will record it. And you can listen to the recording. That it's interesting because in 1 hour, it's a lot of information. And sometimes when you listen to it, it's like watching a movie for the second time, no? What is the script? And then you can see the details of everything. In any case, if you want to schedule the session or you have any question, connect with me. I'll explain you exactly what it is and how can I serve you. And this is an amazing pricing. Usually it's like more than that.
Yeah.
Much more than that. And it's up to you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Judith. Just a reminder, there is a to pay option as well for this offer. And the link will be in, well, everywhere where there's words. So if you're watching on YouTube, it will be in the section where they let us write the caption. If you are watching on or listening on Apple or Spotify, then it will be in the section of the show notes. And of course, it will also be in the newsletter. And you can also email us at team@HoutHustle if you need anything.
No. And the only reason why I asked is because I know my cousin had asked me to ask.
So we should have asked earlier on.
It wanted me to.
Oh, I'm happy
though.
to talk directly with your cousin as a courtesy to you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
You
think
can
you're
connect
right.
us, and
Yeah.
it will be more
Yes,
than.
more direct.
But
Thank
again, we don't know who is going to listen to the replay. People are going to decode the information. Then I try to be very careful in this idea, no, that, oh, this is the truth. I don't have the truth, nothing like the truth. Of course, I feel guided and confident enough, not only for my credentials, but also because I feel supported by the divine.
Of course.
But I'm very cautious on saying, oh, this is what it is. If what I'm sharing serves you, great. And if it doesn't, just discard and find your own teacher, your own master. But I believe that we all have the answers within ourselves. And again, if you love yourself, the rest of the problems in your life will be resolved. And I have been tested again and again. When I had cancer, I was teaching self-love, and I thought I loved myself. And oh my God, I had to take it to a different level. And now I'm being tested again. I had so many challenges recently in the last 3-4 months that you cannot imagine. And it's like, okay, whatever it is, I'm here. And I know you will give me the tools to overcome this. And I keep going. And I don't think I could do it without the support of the Akashic records or without loving myself, because then you start blaming others, you start feeling bad about yourself.
Yes.
How I'm attracting the circumstances and all these things that we all do very well.
Spiraling. Yeah. Spirals are fun sometimes, but let's do less of them.
Or at least have tools, right?
Yeah, have tools to
Support
change.
like Judith.
Well,
Judith,
thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much. Any parting words for us today? Just
Let me ask.
thank you.
Say that love is not such a complicated concept as we make it sound. It's much simpler, and sometimes it's about deleting everything you have learned and start anew. See how a kid loves. A kid loves unconditionally. When a kid is small, doesn't have any idea about rejection or I like you and I don't like you. It's just present. It gives all the love it has with the smiles, with the kindness, with the gestures. Only us that we have been socialized and are adults forget what love is about. Love is so simple and it's already within yourselves. Then just allow it to be expressed. Reconnect with this little one inside of you that knows how to love, and allow also love to be part of your life. They say that many of you are very good at giving, but not so good at receiving. Then we have to get used to open our hearts to receive.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow. I can feel the frequency of that. It's kind of awesome. Thank you.
Paula says, Judith, I love your perspectives and insights. Thank you, Lianka and Jeneth, for another perfectly timed show. Thank you. Thank you. Lots of different hearts. Love your final remarks. Love you. Thank you all.
Wow. Just a couple announcements. We have a live event coming up November 7th, 8th, and 9th, and every single one of you are invited. It's at houthustle.com/live. There will be a newsletter that comes out on Sunday to give you more information about that.
We just had our beautiful Mystique Society call yesterday, our inner circle. It's our group. And man, let me tell you, those conversations just blow my mind. We're on the line for 2 hours talking about various different topics. Just today, we had Jeneth and I, and our Mystique Society members will know, we saw our own feathers. And we took a picture for y'all. the reason why I bring this up is because we created a really cool community, even on these calls, with no judgment, full of love, and no question is off the table. It's a place where we can utilize each other's gifts to strengthen each other. Many times where you have a psychic ability, my psychic ability will meet that, and they'll just all be elevated. It's really just creating a light in our lives. And it comes with lots of different bonuses. So you can find the whole write-up about that information and how we use it. It's at houthustle.com/join. So that's houthustle.com/JOIN. And then also, if you're not...
And wait, before
Go
you
ahead.
finish that one, tomorrow within Mystique, I'm doing another Hypnosis Dragon Voyage
go.
on Growth Day, and it's going to be all about clarity, rest, and sleep. If you are in the Growth
I
Day
need that
app, then join us tomorrow. I'll send a link for the newsletter in the morning.
If you're not getting our newsletter, be sure to sign up at www.houthustle.com. And there's like a little opt-in there, and you just put your first name and your email address, and you'll get all of the information, all of our upcoming events, and then whoever we have scheduled for the summit that we're doing in October. So a whole new summit. We'll have 3 different speakers each day, Monday through Friday, for the summit. And it's going to be really exciting. We are taking what we did last and really just expanding on that, and then inviting a whole bunch of new people as well. So I think you'll find a lot of excitement around that. And then also, if you haven't gotten our newsletter, be sure to do it because of the free gifts. So you get free gifts when you sign up. So www.houthustle.com, you'll find that in the description on the podcast version or on YouTube.
Next week, we have 2 new speakers, Tuesday and Thursday, and we will start updating the Instagram, tell you what you'll find there.
It's been a long show.
Yep. You guys have a great weekend. Bye-bye, everyone.
Out Hustle, we just want to remind you to take a little time, enjoy
the woo. Bye.